Have you ever fantasized having XEX with your ex? Have you ever fantasized having XEX with your colleague in the office? As in, your colleague knocking you on the office table for him to be and doing the If you have ever had one of this fantasy, it is not wrong. Yes, it only shows that you are a sexual being and that you are sexually active. The mind is an astonishing thing. Our imaginations, elastic, unfiltered, are capable of producing the most amazing dreams. And sexual fantasies is in many ways like dreaming while awake. Forbidden fruit is the most common female fantasy scenarios and imagines that are unlikely to happen in real life. The wonderful thing about fantasy is that it's all between your ears. Nothing in a fantasy is wrong or illegal because it's not real. It is fantasy. The important thing to know about fantasies is that it keeps us alert and alive. Sexual curiosity in real life can lead to real trouble, but in our imagination, anything and everything is possible. In your sexual imagination, don't censor, don't put the brakes on, don't condemn or deny. Your imagination is the one thing in life you completely own. Don't forfeit your right to enjoy it when it comes to sexual fantasy. Let your imagination run free. It is totally yours. And whether or not you chose to share it with anyone else, it's your choice. So another funny sexual fantasy is quick sex with a total stranger, usually on a plane or train. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Onyu Below, aka Onyu's page, one and only sex coach in Africa. I help you make your sex life sexy with your one and only legally married partner. So today's episode is 10 most common sexual fantasies for men and women. So if this is your kind of thing, just stay tuned and keep watching. Most sexual fantasies that men and women has ever fantasized. What are the most common sexual fantasies? Having XEX in public. Imagining ourselves with our ex. Finding out the answers from men and women in this survey. So stay tuned so that you know most of the sexual fantasies men and women usually have. Sexual fantasies seems to be quite taboo, but they don't really need to be. But what exactly are we talking about when we use these terms? What are the most common sexual fantasies? A sexual fantasy is a mental representation that we create, often unconsciously, about sexual experiences that we had liked to have or just imagine. And above all, we like to imagine those scenes because they excite us. However, sexual fantasies can be fulfilled. What are the facts of the matter? In this video, we'll be bringing you the results on the most common sexual fantasies in men and women. The most common sexual fantasies, a survey conducted by a leading dating portal for married couples in the United Kingdom, reveals that 10 of the most common sexual fantasies. The survey was conducted on both men and women. I'm going to whet your appetite with one surprising result. 55% of the respondents said that they would like to have sex with their ex. Is that really the case? Or was it just the first thing that popped into their minds? So without further ado, here are the other sexual fantasies that the participants mentioned. Maybe the sexual fantasies may surprise you. Number 1. having sex with their ex. As we said, this was the most popular answer. Having sex again with an ex partner is at the top of the list of the sexual fantasies. 2. Recreating a scene they watch on TV. The respondents' second most popular fantasy was the recreating a sex scene they had seen on TV. Up to 40% said they like this idea. Number 3. Having sex with a celebrity. Another of the most common sexual fantasies, according to the Porter's survey, would be to have sex with a celebrity or simply someone who is famous. Up to 38% of the respondents said that they would like this idea. Here we seem to have the idea of idealizing someone else who is in the public eye. Mixed with the fact that these people are certainly unattainable, it seems that our mind likes the idea of the challenge. 4. Sex with the current partner. This can also be a sexual fantasy as people let their imagination go into overdrive, imagining sex with their current partner. As many as 36% of the respondents mentioned these particular preferences. We also like the familiar. This is bound to be influenced by the memories and experience we have already had with that person. All those times we have felt really aroused and passionate. Some will fantasize having sex in an office table. Number 5. Sex with an unknown person. Another of the most common sexual fantasies is the one in which people imagine themselves having sex with a total stranger, someone who is totally unknown to them. People's morbid fascination with the unknown influences a lot here. No fewer than 29% of respondents selected this option. Number 6. Sex with a work colleague. In 6th place, 27% of respondents said that one of their ideal sexual fantasies was imagining that they were having an affair or sex with a co-worker. It's very common to fantasize about sexual experiences with people we work with who hasn't experienced this at some time or another. Number 7. Sex with a friend. There's no need to go so far with a stranger, nor even with your current partner. It turns out that another common sexual fantasy is to imagine having sex with a friend. Up to 25% of the respondents, a quarter of the participants, said that they fantasize about these possibilities. 8. A threesome or group sex. Another of the sexual fantasy chosen by the respondent was having sex in a threesome or group sex. The survey didn't specify exactly how many should participate in this imaginary sexual act. However, 90% of the respondents answered that this was one of their fantasies, to have a threesome. Number 9. Sex in public. In the 9th position, we find the fantasy of having sex in public place, often with possibility of being seen by others. 14% of the participants chose these options. It seems that the risk of being discovered inspired our fascination about taking part in this type of sexual act. Number 10. Having sex with a police officer. In the last position, with 11% of votes, we find another of the most popular sexual fantasies, having sex with a public officer. This may have to do with the morbid fascination regarding authority, stretching limits, abusing power, or being turned on by the uniform, or it may be a mix of all this. Who knows?